This video is a review for stoichiometry and for balancing chemical equations and reaction types. So let's get started right away. We have this reaction here. We need to put coefficients in front of. I look at this and I have polyatomic ions that stay together, so I'm going to balance them that way. So let's get started. Aluminum, there's 2 here, but only 1 here. So I'm going to put a large 2 in front here. That makes me have 3 times 2 hydroxides, so that's 6 hydroxides. I only have 2 over here, so I'm going to put a 3 in front of here. 3 times 2 hydroxides gives me 6. That now gives me 3 magnesiums. Oh, but I only have 1 here, so I'm going to put a 3 in front of that. That gives me 3 CO3s. Now remember, treat that as one thing. And I have 3 CO3s over there. So then all I need is a 1 here. Remember, we don't have to write ones, but I'll do that today. Now what kind of reaction do I have? Well, I have a compound, another compound, producing a compound plus another compound. I recognize that as double displacement. Okay, let's go on to the next reaction. Let's see, I've got gallium and hydrochloric acid here. Okay, I see I've got 3 of these and I have a 2. I sense that there's going to be an even-odd problem with this question. So I'm going to start off with a 2 over here already for gallium. And I'm going to put 2 here then. So I've got 2 galliums and 2 galliums. That gives me 2 times 3 chlorines, which gives me 6. I only have 1 over here, so I need a 6 in front of here. And that gives me 6 hydrogens, but I see I have 2 over here, so I'm going to put a 3 here. Let's see how that gets my, this becomes an even number here, and 3 times 2 is an even number, so 6, okay, on both sides. So that is now balanced. Now what kind of reaction do I have? I have an element here, plus a compound, producing a compound plus an element. I see that as a single displacement reaction. Okay, next one. I've got sulfur and an 8 down there, so that's a subscript 8 in oxygen. So now I've got 1 over here, so I need an 8 here. Now 8 times 3 gives me 24 oxygens, but I have 2, so I need a 12 here. And of course this stays a 1, we don't have to write it, but I'll go ahead and do it. Now what do I have? I have an element plus an element making a compound. So I've got 2 things coming together to make one thing. This is a synthesis reaction. So anytime you're putting things together and making a compound, you're going to get a synthesis reaction. Now remember, you might have more than just elements here. You could have a couple compounds together coming to form one thing. But when 2 things come together as one, a synthesis reaction has happened. Okay, now this next one, let's see, I'm analyzing this. I already recognize the pattern. Compound plus oxygen makes carbon dioxide and water. This one is our familiar combustion reaction. So oxygen, carbon dioxide, and water. When you see these 3 with a carbon compound, you know you've got combustion already. Okay, so let's see if we can balance this one. I don't think I'm going to have an even odd situation with this. I have 5 carbons. I only have 1 here, so I put a 5. 12 oxygen or 12 hydrogens, but I have 2 here, so I need a 6. Okay, 6 oxygens plus 10 oxygens. Okay, that gives me 16 oxygens, right? So I can put an 8 here then. 8 times 2 is 16. And again, I've got 10 plus 6. That gives me 16. And I can put a 1 in front of that. So that's my combustion reaction balanced. Next one here. aluminum hydroxide, I've got OH, but it doesn't stay together over here. And I recognize this as breaking apart. So I've got one thing breaking into pieces. So I have a compound going into another compound plus a compound. But anyways, I have the familiar, I've got one thing breaking apart. This has to be decomposition. And now my hydroxide is breaking apart, so I cannot balance that as hydroxides. So let me do that. I've got 2 aluminums here, only 1 here, so let me put a 2 in front of that. Now let's see, let me balance hydrogens next, because oxygens are in 2 different places here. So 2 times 1 gives me 2, but there's a 3 outside here, so 2 times 3 gives me 6. I have 2 here, so I need to put a 3 here. Okay, now how many oxygens do I have? I have 6 oxygens. Oh, but I see I've got 3 here, and 3 over here, so that gives me my 6. I could put a 1 here. Okay, so that's the balancing part of chemical reactions for our review for our test. My next video will be on the stoichiometry part.